So now we're into Top Fuel. And Red Pistari is coming up. You look at funny car, those not yet qualified. And again, keep in mind that 16th spot, depending on weather conditions on Saturday. While Red backs up, let's show you the standings right now in Top Fuel. And at the top, it is Spencer Massey, then Dixon, Brown, Del Worsham, Tony Schumacher, Rod Fuller, who is not in the points fight, the playoffs, John Langdon,
top
and then Dave Grubnick.
Top 12 that carry over. You see it's a little bit tighter than what we saw at the beginning of the previous funny car session. Terry McMillan's in that 12th and final transfer position with a 398.
And again, here are those who are not yet qualified, including Morgan Lucas, the first winner of the year, and Doug Paletta, who is in the playoffs.
The Terry McMillan's a 398 is actually a 395 because Top Fuel cars looked pretty good in the first session. Now, funny cars came back and really looked good in this session. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in Top Fuel.
Worth bringing up, third race of the countdown. We've just been back to back to back. Is this make or break weekends for guys around your do or done line?
It could be. It always depends on what the guys do at top. You know, we keep that line there so that it's kind of a floating line based on what you do.
Let's go up to the top end now, and Matt Hagan is there. Matt, I got to tell you, you're boring me.
Wow.
You got nothing. You got nothing. You are absolutely amazing, and obviously, you and Tommy DeLago love the cool weather too.
You know, we definitely have a great package here with this diehard car. It's running strong. You know, it's something that you can go up there. You saw Johnny Gray running 02. We got some great notes to go off of. We were, I guess, finalists up here last year, and Tommy's just doing a phenomenal job. The guys are too, and it's just cool to hang on to a car like that. I mean, you know when you're sitting in the seats that you better pull your belts down tight because it's going to be a ride.
So, Matt, it's Mike Dunn here. I mean, coming into this race, was that pretty much a game plan? I mean, you're back there looking at the weather report, and Tommy's probably just frothing at the mouth when he starts seeing the temperature's going to be in the 50s on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Absolutely. You know, Tommy does really good job in cool conditions, but I think that he does well in hot conditions. These cars, they seem to run better in the cool anyway. You know as well as I do, Mike, that it's a lot harder to pull these cars back than it is to make them go forward. And you know, real quick, while I'm on air here, I'd like to say happy birthday to my little girl. She turned 2 this week, and I missed it. I was out here in Reading, and I love you, baby, and happy birthday.
You want all of us to sing happy birthday?
I'd love to hear it now. I'd love to hear it.
I do it. You want to do it?
No, you don't.
Happy birthday to you. Come on.
We can sing here.
To you. Happy birthday.
There you go, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. She does too, I'm sure.
Hey, you've got this controversy, all this stuff going on within the team. Where is that taking your head right now?
Well, I'll tell you where my head is with that. I'm way over that. That was 2 weeks ago. You know, I know we had some stuff going on with it this week that we were talking about, but you know, I said my piece, and I'm done with it. You know, I'm not trying to bring up old skeletons. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to here, and you know, it's one of those things where it was I felt like that we did some special stuff out there, and I just you know, I had my head up pretty high, and you know, like anybody would. So that's behind us. We're going to look forward to trying to win this championship. These Force cars are so tough over here, and not Force, you got Cruz to think about too, and my teammates and everybody. So it's just definitely going to be a dogfight out there. I think that the biggest thing that we can do is just stay focused and take each round by round. I'm a prime example of last year how things changed so quickly, and you know, until they hand the trophies out at the end of the day, anything can change. So for me, it's almost a no pressure situation because I've been there. I felt the pressure before, and you know, just because you're getting close to leading the points, or you're getting
hold on just a second, Matt, because Clay Milliken and Fred Farndon,
sure,
72-year-old Fred Farndon's on the line right now. Neither one are in. Milliken, 390. He is 12th. He'll stay there. Fred, despite all that, actually comes up one position. Now sits in the overall count, 16th. Mike, what's that laying on the track?
Boy, yeah, the parts and pieces flying out there. I wonder if that's part of the belly pan underneath the car. I don't see any body panels on the outside of the car. Do you, Joe?
No, it doesn't really look like.
I think it might be the oil containment system on the body. Let's take one more look at it. You look at Fred Farndon launching on that 412 elapsed time passed. Got all the cylinders lit right there. Rattled the tires a little bit. Boy, he's already got stuff coming off right there underneath the bottom of that car. And the big pieces didn't start till the shutdown area. Gotta believe it's a belly pan underneath.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Ooh, lucky he didn't cut the tire on that. It looked like it cleared the right rear tire.
So that run down the track. Let's go back to Matt Hagan, Dave Reef.
I got a question for you. You know, I've never driven, and of course I'll put the question to Joe Amato, who's in our booth, and Mike Dunn as well. But you know, when the conditions get like they are, obviously we all sit on the edge of our seat. We're looking for the big run. But as a driver, I mean, what's a pucker factor like on something like that, from a 0 to a 10 scale, when you know that this is this moment and this car is going to go out there? It could have a major I mean, my goodness, it's got to be tense.
You know, it definitely gets you up in the seat. I know a lot of times I'm getting forward and up on the wheel and trying to focus and get my eyes adjusted. And, you know, it absolutely is a very intense moment, 4 seconds of your life that goes by pretty quick. So, you know, it absolutely gets your adrenaline going. Sometimes I find myself in there trying to calm myself down and just, you know, breathe and focus, that kind of stuff. But, I mean, that's why we do this stuff, you know, guys. I mean, to hop in a diehard car like that and run and set the world on fire, that's what we're trying to do every lap. And I'm just thankful that we got a great team, and you know, it seems like the good man above has kind of touched this car the last couple of days, and you know, and hopefully he can keep things rolling for us.
I say this all the time. Thank you guys for doing what you do. It's unbelievable to sit and watch it.
When you get a chance, it's Stat Guy here, Lewis Bloom. Question: I was here back in '08 when you made your funny car debut, I believe at the time with Paul Smith. Can you believe how far you've come? I mean, your career has just been taking off of late, and you're in position once again to maybe win that championship.
It truly has gone by very fast. You know, we've been working very hard all year long, and kind of you know, I think a lot of people counted us out, and we've been kind of a sleeper all season long. We've had some opportunities to make some stuff happen, but you know, my career in a whole has just blown by. You know, but I put myself around good people with Don Schumacher Racing, and they do a great job putting our good race car under me. And I think as long as I can do my job as far as leave on time and keeping in the groove, that you know, it's pretty much taken care of. But Tommy's got the big problems. You know, he's got all the variables to deal with, the heat, the cool, everything on these racetracks that they have to deal with. So he's the man. He's a guy that I look up to. And as far as sometimes you get out of the race car and you say, this guy is just phenomenal. I cannot believe what he can do with a race car.
Well, Matt Hagan in the booth with us right now is Joe Amato, the great 5-time Top Fuel champion. And we were talking earlier about guys just like Matt Hagan and the others. And Matt kind of reiterated what you said, is driving for Don Schumacher and having the best equipment certainly is helpful. But what do you think of that guy?
Well, I think you've done a great job, and I brought your name up. I said you're amazing because you came from just starting out and you surrounded yourself with good people, crew chief and Don Schumacher's team and their technology, and you got a chance to win a championship, and that's good. It gives a lot of people a chance to move faster in the ladder than in the old days when you had a one-car team, and I think that means a lot. And as far as going back to sitting in the car and having a chance to make a great run, Mike Dunn will say that was always got the adrenaline up. You weren't worried about it blowing up or anything like that. You were thinking about going fast and setting up a number.
And Matt, this is John Kernan, and along those lines where Joe says, you know, another shot at winning the championship. Last year, we all thought you were on your way to winning the championship, and then things kind of went awry. What's the most important thing you learned last year during the countdown to the championship that you can apply this year to win it?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I took away from last year, obviously I learned a lot of life lessons, but don't sweat it. You know, I mean, it is what it is until the last day out there. I mean, things are going to change around, and sometimes there's some things that are just out of your control. I mean, the only thing that we can do is just stay focused to try to keep a good car underneath us and not make any mistakes as far as driving the car. You know, it was such a big lesson for me, and you know, and obviously I took it pretty hard, as well did the whole team. The way things turned out, we obviously worked very hard, as everybody else did, and you know, it just didn't go our way. But you know, it's just, drag racing is one of the most humbling sports I've ever been involved in, and one day you're a hero, the next day you're a zero, and you know, things change quickly around here. So I think the biggest thing that I can pull from this, from my life experience from last year, is just don't worry about it. You know, go up here, have some fun. You got a great car that's running good. You know, we got some pretty good notes to go off of from last year, and just have some fun with it. You know, I mean, sometimes this pressure, the whole situation, it takes some of the fun out of it. So for me, you know, I got underneath that helmet, you can't see it, but I got a big grin going.
Well, I can't tell you how many fans you earned, by the way, with how humbly you accepted what happened a year ago in Pomona.
Thank you.
And thank you, Matt Hagan.
Hey,
Appreciate
guys, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Well, the fans, like the rest of us, are waiting until they pick parts and pieces off the track. The Full Throttle Drag Racing Series continues. Reading, Pennsylvania, where we are right now. The Auto Plus Nationals. Qualifying, we'll have that full compilation on Saturday night at 12:30, and then the finals on the air Sunday at 7. Only 4 races now are left in the countdown. Well, we're waiting for them to get the track cleaned up a little bit. I imagine they got a little oil, a few parts. Who knows what's down there?
Now they're firing up the next pair, but I want to go back to what Matt Hagan talked about, Joe, and you and I have both been in situations where you have these conditions, you have a car that's running well, and you, like you said, we go for it. And I don't know if Matt Hagan's ever been in a position where they went for it and Tommy DeLago didn't deliver. Now, I don't know about you, but I know there's situations. The worst part of it, when you knew the conditions were there, you went for it, and the car didn't go down the track. Wasn't that like the worst feeling in the world?
Yeah, when it smokes the tires, you're the first guy to know, and it's the most frustrating feeling in the world. But he's definitely on the right track. He learned a lot last year. And he's got to have fun with the whole program, not get too caught up reading his own press clippings. And he's got to instill that in his crew chief and the crew. So everybody's got to just have fun and go out there and do their job. And he'll win the championship if he can put all that together.
I like the fact last year, a lot of people would second guess, saying, well, if this teammate had done that or that teammate had done that, that would have helped him and he could have won the championship. And he just said, you know what? We lost it. We'd have nobody to blame but ourselves. If we'd have done our job, we'd have won it. Forget about what everybody else did. And I like that fact.
And that's all going to come back to him this year and give him that experience. And he's probably a good shot to win, I think.
The temperature, the track temperature continues to drop. Now 82 degrees, and Doug Coletta and Pat Dakin are on the line, and we'll show you the weather currently. Look at the air temperature down at 64. Water grains are dropping too.
Tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to think that's plenty. We're going to wish it was 64 because the high they're calling for is like 54. And with these cool conditions, it's just real easy to make horsepower. And obviously the dry conditions, you don't have the humidity in the air. Even for the fuel cars, I mean, the fuel cars can compensate with the supercharger. They can spin the supercharger faster to force some of that air into the engine, but it takes more power to do that. So if it's nice and dry and cool, they can make the horsepower more naturally.
Whoa! Oh,
close.
My goodness. Pat Dakin comes across the center line right behind Coletta. Almost got into him. I think I'd be looking for some paint smudges on that front wing there of Pat Dakin.
It's a good thing that Doug doesn't have a rearview mirror.
Yeah, that would have gotten his attention.
Oh.
I'm sure he knew something was going on now.
Watch the left side of your screen. I mean, Dakin definitely got that thing sideways. Drove it a little too far across the center line. But it also looked like on the front wing, Joe, it looked like the Wickerville on that thing was slightly askewed, which could cause the car to basically move around a little bit more than normal. But bottom line, though, at that point right there, he should have been out of the throttle well before that.
Well, he knew he was on a good run, and he was trying to qualify. That's, that adrenaline
We've
factor.
all driven cars a little too far, haven't we?
Yeah. I remember once racing Bernstein on this track, and we were both on fire, smoking the tires, and I cut the cone. I beat him, but I caught a cone right at the finish line with my wing, and I lost the race, even though I beat him. Pieces and debris.
Oh, but they threw somebody else out. Yeah.
All right, here is, we were waiting for the word to come down from NHRA. That little tab there on the top rear of the wing, if we can get up a little higher, that's the wicker bill that Mike was talking about. Now, NHRA says that Coletta's run does count. That's important for Doug. You remember he dropped down one position a week ago in the points. He had lane choice coming up against Antron Brown in the first round. They got into a pedal fest, and then the whole thing went away, and Coletta ended up taking the loss. But now Coletta is 6th. He's moved up into the 6th place.
I remember I drove for the late Joe Paisano, and I made a run. It was kind of when I first started driving for him, and I felt something. I lifted and come back, and he says, kid, what'd you lift for? I said, I felt like kind of just started nose over a little bit or something, so I you know, I stepped off the pedal, saved the parts. And he says, let me tell you something, kid, unless this thing's upside down or on fire, you better not lift out of my car. And I says, okay, I can do that.
That was Joe Paisan. He was quite a man. He was quite a man.
He was the greatest.